Blue Book, The Psychology of Money. Chapter 1 Summary, No One's Crazy. Author Morgan Housel. Key core idea of Chapter 1. The first chapter explains a powerful idea. People make financial decisions based on their personal life experiences, not on logic alone. What seems crazy or wrong to one person often makes perfect sense to another because everyone views money through the lens of their own past. Brain, why no one's crazy. Morgan Housel starts the book by saying that no one is crazy when it comes to money. People behave differently with money because they have lived different lives. Your beliefs about saving, investing, spending, risk are shaped by the time you were born, the economy you grew up in, your family background, your personal successes and failures. So, two intelligent people can look at the same financial situation and make completely opposite decisions, and both can be right for themselves. Baby, how personal experiences shape money behavior. Example 1. Two investors, two realities. A person who grew up during the Great Depression saw markets collapse, people lose jobs and banks fail. They value safety, avoid risk and prefer cash. A person who grew up during a long bull market saw stocks rise and wealth grow. They believe risk is necessary and investing aggressively is normal. Neither person is stupid or irrational. They are simply reacting to what they've seen in their own life. Chart decreasing the role of timing in financial beliefs. Morgan Housel highlights a crucial truth. Your financial views are heavily influenced by what happens during your early adult years. If you start investing during a market crash, right arrow, you may fear stocks. A booming market, right arrow, you may trust stocks blindly. This explains why older generations prefer fixed deposits and gold. Younger generations prefer stocks, crypto, and startups. Bar chart, why we misjudge others' money decisions. People often say, why doesn't he invest in stocks? Why does she waste money instead of saving? Why are they so afraid of taking risk? The author says this judgment is unfair because we don't know their past. We haven't lived their experiences. We judge money decisions as spectators, not as participants. Warning: risk means different things to different people. One of the most important lessons in this chapter. Risk is not just numbers, it's emotions. For some people, risk equals opportunity. For others, risk equals danger and fear. Someone who has already faced financial loss, seen family struggle with debt, will be more cautious, even if statistics say investing is safe. Jigsaw: logic versus emotion in money. Traditional finance assumes people are rational, logical, emotionless. But real life shows fear, greed, hope, insecurity. Money decisions are deeply emotional because money affects survival. Money affects dignity. Money affects family security. That's why behavior matters more than intelligence in finance. Book's key lesson from Chapter 1. The biggest takeaway. There is no single right way to handle money. What matters is doing what works for your life, instead of copying others. Understand your own comfort with risk. Respect other people's financial choices. Build a plan based on your reality, not theirs. Seedling: how this chapter helps you practically. This chapter teaches you to stop judging others' money decisions. Understand your own financial behavior. Make peace with your past experiences. Create a financial plan that suits you. Focus on long-term survival instead of short-term wins. Memo: final summary in one paragraph. Chapter 1 of The Psychology of Money, titled No One's Crazy, explains that people make money decisions based on their personal experiences, not pure logic. What seems irrational to one person may be completely reasonable to another because everyone grows up in different economic conditions. Our attitudes toward risk, saving, and investing are shaped by our past, especially early life experiences. The chapter reminds us that understanding behavior is more important than judging intelligence, and there is no universal rule for handling money. The best financial decisions are those that align with one's own life, comfort, and long-term goals. The psychology of money. Chapter 2 Summary, Luck and Risk. Author Morgan Housel. Key central idea of Chapter 2. Chapter 2 explains a powerful but uncomfortable truth. Success and failure are influenced not only by hard work and skill, but also by luck and risk. Many outcomes in life and money depend on events outside our control, yet we often ignore this and give full credit, or blame, to individuals. Direct hit why luck and risk matter in money. Morgan Housel argues that luck equals good outcomes caused by factors you didn't fully control. Risk equals bad outcomes caused by factors you didn't fully control. Both exist side by side, and neither can be eliminated. People usually take full credit for success, blame bad luck for failure in their own life, do the opposite when judging others. This leads to misunderstanding money, success, and failure. The story of Bill Gates' luck example. The author uses Bill Gates as an example. Bill Gates was intelligent and hardworking, but he also had rare advantages. Access to a computer at school, very rare at the time. Growing up near major tech companies. Perfect timing during the personal computer revolution. Millions of people were smart and hardworking, but only a few had the same luck plus timing. This doesn't reduce Gates' achievement, but it reminds us that luck played a role. Collision: the story of Kent Evans' risk example. Morgan Housel contrasts Gates' story with Kent Evans, a close friend of Gates. Kent Evans was equally brilliant. He died young in a mountaineering accident. The difference in outcomes was not talent, but risk. This shows success doesn't always go to the most deserving. Failure doesn't always come from bad decisions. Balance: why we shouldn't copy extreme success stories. A major warning from this chapter. Learning only from winners is dangerous. Why? We see what worked for them. We don't see the many who tried the same thing and failed. This is called survivorship bias. Example: thousands of people start risky businesses. A few succeed and become famous. We hear their stories and think the strategy is foolproof. But we ignore the silent majority who failed. Brain humility, the key financial skill. Understanding luck and risk teaches humility. Humility helps you avoid overconfidence. Take credit carefully. Avoid blaming yourself too harshly for failure. Respect uncertainty. The author says, the more you think you're in control, the more dangerous your decisions become. Chart: decreasing risk is always present, even when invisible. Risk doesn't announce itself. It hides during good times. It appears suddenly during bad times. Examples: market crashes, job losses, health emergencies, business failures. Even the safest plans can fail due to unpredictable events. That's why planning should focus on survival, not perfection. How to apply this chapter to your life. 1. Avoid extreme risk. Don't chase get-rich-quick ideas. Avoid betting everything on one opportunity. 2. Leave room for error. Keep emergency savings. Avoid too much debt. Build financial flexibility. 3. Learn from patterns, not people. Study broad trends. Don't blindly copy successful individuals. 4. Respect uncertainty. Accept that you won't predict everything. Prepare for things going wrong. Jigsaw luck, risk, and long-term thinking. Morgan Housel emphasizes long-term success requires staying in the game. One bad event can erase years of progress. So the goal is not to be perfect, but to avoid disaster. Memo key lessons from Chapter 2. Luck and risk play a huge role in financial outcomes. Success is not 100% skill. Failure is not 100% mistake. Extreme success stories hide many failures. Humility improves financial decision-making. Survival is more important than maximum returns. Seedling 1 paragraph chapter summary. Chapter 2 of The Psychology of Money, titled Luck and Risk, explains that financial success and failure are strongly influenced by factors beyond our control. While skill and hard work matter, luck can amplify success and risk can cause failure unexpectedly. Using examples like Bill Gates and Kent Evans, the author shows how different outcomes often result from chance rather than ability. The chapter warns against copying extreme success stories and emphasizes the importance of humility, risk management, and long-term survival over chasing extraordinary gains.
The Psychology of Money. Chapter 3 Summary. Never Enough. Author, Morgan Housel. Key central idea of Chapter 3. Chapter 3 delivers one of the most important lessons of the book. No matter how much money someone has, if they don't know what enough means, they will never be satisfied. The chapter explains how greed, comparison, and the desire for more can destroy wealth, happiness, and peace of mind, even for very successful people. Brain why never enough is dangerous. Humans naturally compare themselves with others. In Money Matters, comparison leads to endless desire, risk-taking beyond limits, loss of what already matters. Morgan Housel argues that many financial disasters happen not because people have too little, but because they want just a little more. The story of Rajat Gupta, greed example. The author uses the real-life story of Rajat Gupta, a highly successful executive, CEO of McKinsey, board member of Goldman Sachs and other major companies, extremely wealthy and respected, despite already having money, power, reputation. He wanted more and got involved in insider trading. Result: lost his freedom, lost his reputation, lost everything that mattered. This shows that greed can destroy even the most successful lives. The problem with comparing yourself to others. A major cause of never enough thinking is comparison. People often compare income, lifestyle, cars, houses, social status. But comparisons are dangerous because there is always someone richer. There is no finish line. The chapter highlights the hardest financial skill is getting the goalpost to stop moving. Warning: why more money does always mean more happiness. Money helps up to a point. Comfort, security, freedom. But after basic needs are met, extra money mostly feeds ego, not peace. Chasing more can lead to stress, unethical decisions, excessive risk, loss of freedom. Jigsaw the concept of enough. Morgan Housel defines enough as knowing when you have what you need, refusing to risk what you already have for what you don't need. People who understand enough protect their freedom, avoid unnecessary risk, sleep peacefully. People who don't are never satisfied, take dangerous bets, often lose everything. Collision when people lose everything. History is full of examples where people were already rich, were already successful, still wanted more. And that more caused legal trouble, financial collapse, personal ruin. The lesson: there is no reason to risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need. How to apply Chapter 3 in real life. 1. Define your enough. Ask yourself, how much money is enough for comfort? What lifestyle truly satisfies me? 2. Avoid lifestyle inflation. As income increases, expenses increase. Savings stay the same. Control this to build lasting wealth. 3. Don't compare with the wrong people. Compare yourself only with your past self, your own goals, not with celebrities, influencers, ultra-rich individuals. Brain freedom is the real wealth. One of the most powerful ideas in this chapter. The ability to wake up every morning and do what you want is the highest form of wealth. Excessive greed can trap you in stress, make you work endlessly, steal your time and peace. Memo key lessons from Chapter 3. Greed has no finish line. Comparison is the thief of joy. Knowing enough protects wealth. Many failures happen due to wanting more, not having less. Freedom and peace are more valuable than extra money. Seedling 1 paragraph, chapter summary. Chapter 3 of The Psychology of Money, titled Never Enough, explains how greed and comparison can destroy wealth and happiness. Through real-life examples, the author shows that many people lose everything not because they lacked money, but because they couldn't stop wanting more. The chapter emphasizes the importance of defining what enough means in one's life and warns against risking financial security, freedom, and reputation for unnecessary gains. True wealth, according to the chapter, is the ability to live peacefully and freely rather than endlessly chasing more money.
Blue Book: The Psychology of Money. Chapter 4 Summary: Confounding Compounding. Author Morgan Housel. Key central idea of Chapter 4. Chapter 4 explains a simple but powerful truth. Compounding is the most powerful force in building wealth, but most people underestimate it because its effects take time to become visible. Small actions done consistently over long periods can lead to extraordinary results. Brain: what is compounding? Compounding means earning returns on your original money and earning returns on the returns you already earned. In simple words, money grows on top of money. The longer compounding continues, the faster growth becomes, but this happens slowly at first and rapidly later. The example of Warren Buffett. Morgan Housel uses Warren Buffett to explain compounding. Buffett is one of the richest investors in history. But his secret is not just high returns. His real advantage is time. Key facts. Buffett started investing as a teenager. He has been investing for more than 70 years. Most of his wealth was created after age 60. This shows long time plus reasonable returns equals extraordinary wealth. Hourglass not done time is more important than high returns. Many people focus on finding the best stock, highest returns, perfect timing. But the chapter says consistency over time matters more than brilliance. Example: someone earning 10% for 40 years will outperform someone earning 20% for 10 years. Warning: why people fail to benefit from compounding. People struggle with compounding because results are slow in the beginning. Early progress looks disappointing. Patience is required. This causes people to quit early, chase quick profits, switch strategies too often. But compounding needs time, patience, discipline. Chart decreasing interrupting compounding is costly. The chapter warns that stopping investments, panic selling, frequent withdrawals can destroy compounding. One big mistake: trying to avoid short-term losses often sacrifices long-term gains. Jigsaw compounding applies beyond money. Compounding works in habits, learning, health, relationships, skills. Small improvements daily can lead to massive growth over time. How to apply Chapter 4 in real life. 1. Start early. The earlier you start, the more time compounding has to work. 2. Be patient. Ignore short-term noise, focus on long-term progress. 3. Avoid big mistakes. Survival matters more than perfection. Avoid decisions that permanently stop compounding. 4. Stay consistent. Regular investing beats occasional big wins. Brain the power of boring strategies. The chapter highlights: boring investing works. Slow progress is normal. Excitement is not required. People who build wealth. Stick with simple plans. Avoid emotional decisions. Memo key lessons from Chapter 4. Compounding is misunderstood but powerful. Time is more important than high returns. Small, consistent actions create massive results. Interrupting compounding is costly. Patience is the true superpower in investing. Seedling 1 paragraph chapter summary. Chapter 4 of The Psychology of Money, titled Confounding Compounding, explains how wealth is built through the power of compounding over long periods. Using examples like Warren Buffett, the author shows that time and consistency matter more than exceptional skill or high returns. Compounding works slowly at first, which causes many people to give up too early, but those who remain patient and avoid major mistakes benefit enormously in the long run. The chapter teaches that staying invested, being disciplined, and allowing time to work are the real secrets of financial success. Blue Book: The Psychology of Money. Chapter 5 Summary: Getting Wealthy versus Staying Wealthy. Author Morgan Housel. Key central idea of Chapter 5. Chapter 5 explains one of the most practical lessons of the book. Getting wealthy requires risk and optimism, but staying wealthy requires caution, humility, and fear of loss. Many people focus on making money, but far fewer focus on keeping it. Brain: getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. Getting wealthy. To get wealthy, people often need risk-taking, bold decisions, optimism, confidence, timing and luck. Examples: starting a business, investing aggressively, taking career risks. Staying wealthy. To stay wealthy, people need discipline, patience, humility, risk management, fear of losing what they have. The skills required for both are very different. Warning: why staying wealthy is harder. Getting wealthy can happen once, staying wealthy must happen every day. Wealth can be destroyed by arrogance, excessive risk, lifestyle inflation, ignoring uncertainty, believing success will continue forever. The chapter highlights: more people lose wealth than create it because staying wealthy is a constant challenge. The importance of survival. The author emphasizes a powerful idea. The most important financial goal is survival. Survival means avoiding bankruptcy, avoiding irreversible mistakes, staying in the game long enough. If you survive, time works in your favor. Compounding continues. Chart decreasing: the role of fear, healthy fear. Morgan Housel talks about reasonable fear. Fear of losing money. Fear of overconfidence. Fear of extreme risk. This fear is not weakness, it is protection. People who survive long-term assume things can go wrong. Prepare for bad times. Don't bet everything on one outcome. Jigsaw planning for uncertainty. The future is unpredictable. Markets crash. Jobs disappear. Economies change. So good financial planning means leaving room for error. Keeping emergency funds. Not maximizing risk. The goal is not maximum returns, but lasting returns. Bust in silhouette examples from history. The chapter points out that many once rich families lost everything. Many successful investors disappeared. Not because they were stupid, but because they took too much risk, assumed success would continue, didn't protect what they had. Collision: avoiding the ruin trap. Ruin is permanent once wealth is destroyed. Recovery becomes difficult. Compounding stops. So the golden rule becomes: avoid decisions that can permanently wipe you out. Hammer: how to apply Chapter 5 in real life. 1. Keep a margin of safety. Save more than you think you need. Avoid excessive debt. 2. Don't chase extreme returns. Slow and steady beats fast and risky. 3. Be humble. Past success doesn't guarantee future success. 4. Focus on long-term survival. Wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. Brain: wealth is what you don't see. The chapter indirectly connects to the idea. Real wealth is unspent money. Savings provide security and freedom. Spending everything you earn may look successful, but it removes protection. Memo key lessons from Chapter 5. Getting rich and staying rich require different skills. Staying wealthy requires caution and humility. Survival is the most important financial goal. Risk management matters more than high returns. Avoid decisions that can cause permanent loss. Seedling 1 paragraph chapter summary. Chapter 5 of The Psychology of Money, titled Getting Wealthy versus Staying Wealthy, explains that making money and keeping money are two very different skills. While wealth creation often requires risk-taking and optimism, wealth preservation depends on caution, discipline, and respect for uncertainty. The chapter emphasizes that survival is the key to long-term success, as avoiding ruin allows time and compounding to work in your favor. By managing risk, staying humble, and preparing for unpredictable events, individuals can protect and maintain their wealth over the long term.
The Psychology of Money. Chapter 6 Summary, Tails You Win. Author Morgan Housel. Key central idea of Chapter 6. Chapter 6 explains a very important but often misunderstood concept. A small number of events usually account for the majority of financial success, while many other efforts may fail or show average results. In money, business, investing, and life, outcomes are not evenly distributed. Brain, what does tails you win mean? In statistics, tails refers to rare extreme outcomes. Most results are average. A few results are extraordinary. Morgan Housel says, you can fail or perform average many times, but a few big wins can outweigh everything else. Success is not linear. People often assume effort equals equal reward. Skill equals consistent success. But in reality, a few lucky breaks matter a lot. One big success can define a career. Many failures are normal. This applies to investing, entrepreneurship, careers, creative fields. Bust in silhouette investing example, stock market returns. The author explains that most stocks perform average or poorly. A small percentage of stocks create most market wealth. If you miss those few winners, returns fall drastically. This means being invested and patient is more important than being perfect. Clapperboard real-life example, Walt Disney. Morgan Housel gives examples like Walt Disney. Many early failures, bankruptcies, rejected ideas, but a few successes. Mickey Mouse, Disneyland. These few wins outweighed all failures, created massive long-term success. Warning: why people quit too early. Because most attempts fail at first. Progress looks slow. Losses feel painful. People assume, I'm bad at this. This doesn't work. But Chapter 6 teaches, failure is a normal cost of success. Jigsaw: the power of asymmetric outcomes. Asymmetric outcomes mean limited downside, massive upside. Examples: investing in diversified stocks, starting side projects, learning new skills. You can lose small amounts many times, but one success can change everything. How this changes your thinking. 1. Expect many losses. Losses are not proof of incompetence. They are part of the process. 2. Don't judge too quickly. Results take time. Big wins come unexpectedly. 3. Stay in the game. Quitting guarantees failure. Survival increases chances of success. Brain emotional strength matters. The chapter highlights patience, emotional control, long-term thinking. You must tolerate boredom, doubt, short-term losses to reach rare big successes. Chart decreasing: why diversification is powerful. Since you don't know which stock, which idea, which effort will succeed, diversification increases chances of catching big winners, reduces risk of ruin. Hammer: how to apply Chapter 6 in real life. 1. Don't fear failure. Failure is data, not defeat. 2. Keep trying. Multiple attempts increase odds of success. 3. Avoid all-or-nothing bets. Protect yourself from permanent loss. 4. Be patient. Rare events need time to appear. Memo key lessons from Chapter 6. Most success comes from a few big wins. Many failures are normal and expected. Outcomes are not evenly distributed. Staying invested matters more than timing. Asymmetric opportunities create wealth. Seedling 1 paragraph chapter summary. Chapter 6 of The Psychology of Money, titled Tails You Win, explains that financial success is driven by a small number of extraordinary outcomes rather than consistent average results. In investing, business, and life, many efforts may fail or produce modest returns, but a few rare successes can outweigh everything else. The chapter encourages patience, diversification, and emotional resilience, emphasizing that failure is a normal cost of achieving long-term success. By staying in the game and avoiding ruin, individuals increase their chances of benefiting from these rare but powerful winning moments. The Psychology of Money. Chapter 7 Summary, Freedom. Author Morgan Housel. Key central idea of Chapter 7. Chapter 7 explains one of the deepest ideas in the book. The highest form of wealth is the ability to control your time. Money is valuable not because of what it can buy, but because of the freedom it provides, freedom over your life, choices, and time. Brain, what is true wealth? Most people think wealth means expensive cars, big houses, luxury lifestyle. But Morgan Housel says real wealth is waking up without an alarm, choosing how you spend your day, working because you want to, not because you have to. This is called time freedom. Hourglass not done. Money buys control over time. Money allows you to leave a toxic job, take breaks when needed, spend time with family, choose meaningful work, say no to things you don't want. Even a small amount of savings can reduce stress, increase confidence, give mental peace. Warning: the trap of chasing lifestyle. Many people earn more, spend more, become trapped. They look successful but have no free time, are controlled by bills, live under pressure. The chapter teaches wealth is not visible, freedom is invisible but priceless. Jigsaw: independence versus richness. You don't need to be rich to be free. You need low expenses, savings buffer, self-control. Someone earning less but spending wisely may have more freedom, more peace, than someone earning a lot but drowning in expenses. Briefcase: the power of enough returns here. Chapter 7 connects with Chapter 3. Knowing enough protects freedom. Unnecessary desires steal time. People who constantly want more trade time for money endlessly, delay freedom forever. Savings equals time stored for future. Savings are not idle money, they are stored time, stored choices, stored peace. Each rupee saved buys future flexibility, options during emergencies. Brain: why humans value freedom. Psychologically, humans desire autonomy, control, dignity. Money that removes dependence increases happiness, reduces anxiety. This is why financial independence matters more than luxury. Hammer: how to apply Chapter 7 in real life. 1. Prioritize savings. Save not just to get rich, but to gain control over your time. 2. Reduce unnecessary expenses. Lower expenses equals faster freedom. 3. Avoid lifestyle inflation. More income doesn't mean more spending. 4. Measure wealth by freedom. Ask, can I walk away from bad situations? Can I take time off if needed? Memo key lessons from Chapter 7. True wealth is control over time. Money's best use is buying freedom. Savings create independence. High income doesn't guarantee freedom. Low expenses increase control. Seedling 1 paragraph chapter summary. Chapter 7 of The Psychology of Money, titled Freedom, explains that the greatest benefit of money is the ability to control one's time. Rather than focusing on visible signs of wealth like luxury or status, the chapter emphasizes independence, flexibility, and peace of mind. Money allows individuals to make choices, escape stressful situations, and live life on their own terms. True financial success comes not from spending more, but from saving enough to gain autonomy and freedom over how one lives each day. Blue Book, The Psychology of Money. Chapter 8 Summary, Man in the Car Paradox. Author Morgan Housel. Key central idea of Chapter 8. Chapter 8 explains a subtle but powerful psychological truth. When you try to impress others with money, you are usually admired far less than you think. People don't admire you for your possessions. They admire themselves in your position. Brain, what is the man in the car paradox? Imagine a man driving a luxury car. Most people assume others admire the man. He gains respect and status. But in reality, people think, I wish I had that car. Not, I admire that person. The focus is on the object, personal desire, not the person who owns it. Why status spending fails. Many people spend money to look successful, gain respect, impress society. But this chapter says, status symbols mostly benefit observers' imagination, not the owner's reputation. Expensive items don't increase real admiration, don't create meaningful respect, often increase financial stress. Warning: the cost of trying to look rich. Trying to appear wealthy often leads to high debt, low savings, constant pressure, loss of freedom. Ironically, people who look rich are often less wealthy than those who look ordinary. Jigsaw wealth versus appearance. Morgan Housel highlights a key difference. Being wealthy equals having assets and savings. Looking wealthy equals spending money on visible things. True wealth is invisible. Money in the bank. Investments. Financial security. Respect versus envy. Luxury spending usually creates envy, not respect. Temporary attention, not admiration. People respect humility, independence, confidence, character, not to brands, price tags. Brain social comparison is a trap. Social media amplifies this problem. People show highlights. Others feel pressure to match. This leads to unnecessary spending, financial anxiety, chasing appearances. Hammer how to apply Chapter 8 in real life. 1. Spend for yourself, not others. Ask, does this truly make me happier? Or am I trying to impress? 2. Value privacy over praise. Silent wealth gives peace, freedom. 3. Build real wealth. Focus on saving, investing, security, not to showing off. Memo key lessons from Chapter 8. People admire themselves, not you, when they see luxury. Status spending rarely gives lasting respect. True wealth is invisible. Looking rich can destroy real wealth. Freedom matters more than appearance. Seedling 1 paragraph chapter summary. Chapter 8 of The Psychology of Money, titled The Man in the Car Paradox, explains that spending money to impress others rarely achieves the desired admiration. When people see luxury items, They tend to imagine themselves owning those items rather than admiring the person who owns them. As a result, status-driven spending often leads to debt, stress, and loss of freedom. The chapter emphasizes the difference between being wealthy and looking wealthy, reminding readers that true financial success lies in security, independence, and peace of mind, not in visible symbols of status. Blue Book: The Psychology of Money. Chapter 9 Summary: Wealth is What You Don't See. Author Morgan Housel. Key central idea of Chapter 9. Chapter 9 explains one of the most important financial truths. Real wealth is not about what you buy or show, but about what you save and don't spend. Most people confuse being rich with being wealthy, but they are very different. Brain rich versus wealthy. Being rich. High income. Expensive lifestyle. Visible spending. Luxury items. Being wealthy. Savings. Investments. Financial security. Freedom and options. The chapter stresses: wealth is hidden. It is the money you have not spent yet. Why we misjudge wealth. People often judge wealth by cars, houses, clothes, lifestyle. But these things actually show how much money someone has spent, not how much they have saved. Someone living simply may be far wealthier than someone living luxuriously. Warning: the danger of lifestyle inflation. As income increases, spending increases, savings stay the same. This leads to living paycheck to paycheck, financial stress, lack of freedom. Many high earners are not wealthy because they spend everything they earn. Jigsaw savings equals flexibility. Savings give time, freedom, options, security, peace of mind. Without savings, every decision feels urgent. Life becomes stressful. With savings, you control your choices. The power of unseen wealth. Invisible wealth. Protects during emergencies. Allows risk-taking in career. Supports long-term goals. Spending for appearance. Destroys future security. Creates short-term pleasure only. Brain psychological comfort of wealth. Knowing you have savings. Reduces anxiety. Increases confidence. Improves decision-making. Even if no one else sees it, you feel it. Hammer: how to apply Chapter 9 in real life. 1. Measure wealth by savings. Ask, how many months can I live without income? 2. Control expenses. Lower spending increases real wealth faster than higher income. 3. Avoid comparing lifestyles. You don't see others' debts or stress. 4. Build invisible assets. Focus on investments and emergency funds. Memo: key lessons from Chapter 9. Wealth is hidden, not visible. Spending shows consumption, not success. High income doesn't guarantee wealth. Savings buy freedom and peace. True wealth is what you don't see. Seedling: 1 paragraph chapter summary. Chapter 9 of The Psychology of Money, titled Wealth is What You Don't See, explains that true wealth lies in savings and financial security, not in visible consumption. While rich-looking lifestyles display what people have spent, real wealth is the money that remains unspent and invested for the future. The chapter warns against lifestyle inflation and social comparison, emphasizing that savings provide freedom, flexibility, and peace of mind. Ultimately, wealth is invisible, but its benefits are deeply felt in everyday life. Blue Book: The Psychology of Money. Chapter 10 Summary: Save Money. Author Morgan Housel. Key central idea of Chapter 10. Chapter 10 focuses on one of the simplest yet most powerful financial habits. Saving money is more important than how much you earn or what returns you get. Saving is not just about future spending, It is about freedom, control, and peace of mind. Brain why saving matters more than returns. Many people focus on finding the best investment, getting the highest returns, increasing income. But Morgan Housel argues, the gap between what you earn and what you spend matters more than how much you earn. A person with moderate income plus high savings is often better off than high income plus zero savings. Money bag saving equals flexibility. Saving money gives you freedom to change jobs, ability to handle emergencies, power to say no, control over your time. Even small savings can reduce stress, improve confidence, increase independence. Warning: saving is not about sacrifice alone. People think saving means suffering, denying happiness, living poorly. But the chapter explains, saving is the opposite of sacrifice. It buys you options. Money saved today gives you choices tomorrow, flexibility in hard times, opportunities in the future. Jigsaw: the psychological benefit of saving. Saving changes how you think. Less fear of the future, better decision-making, less pressure to impress others. People with savings take smarter risks, avoid desperate choices, feel calmer. Chart decreasing: you can't control returns, but you can control savings. You cannot fully control stock market returns, economy, interest rates, but you can control spending habits, savings rate, lifestyle choices. That's why saving is the only guaranteed way to build financial security. Shield Emergency Fund, a key theme. Chapter 10 indirectly stresses importance of emergency funds. Preparing for uncertainty. Life is unpredictable. Medical emergencies, job loss, family needs. Savings protect you when plans fail. Brain: how much should you save? The author avoids exact numbers. Instead, he says, save as much as you reasonably can without making life miserable. Saving should be consistent, automatic, aligned with your lifestyle. Hammer: how to apply Chapter 10 in real life. 1. Increase your savings rate. Focus on saving a higher percentage, not just earning more. 2. Avoid lifestyle inflation. When income increases, don't increase spending at the same rate. 3. Automate savings. Save first, spend later. 4. Value freedom over luxury. Ask, does this expense increase my freedom or reduce it? Brain: saving is about independence, not numbers. Saving money is not about becoming rich overnight, extreme frugality. It is about independence, dignity, control over your life. Even if no one sees your savings, you feel its power. Memo: key lessons from Chapter 10. Saving is more important than high returns. Savings buy freedom and flexibility. You can't control markets, but you can control spending. Emergency savings protect against uncertainty. A high savings rate builds long-term security. Seedling 1 paragraph chapter summary. Chapter 10 of The Psychology of Money, titled Save Money, emphasizes that saving is the foundation of financial security and freedom. Rather than focusing on income or investment returns, the chapter highlights the importance of controlling expenses and maintaining a strong savings habit. Saving provides flexibility, reduces stress, and allows individuals to handle uncertainty without panic. Ultimately, the chapter teaches that money saved today is not just future spending power. It is control over one's life and choices.